How do you balance it all? How often do you feel FOMO, that fear of missing out, when it comes to jiu-jitsu? Have you ever scrolled your phone at night and like maybe a new camp or a seminar pops up and you're like, oh, I'd really like to go do that, but I can't do that because, you know, money, time, just a couple of factors.
Yeah. Well, I think all the time. I mean, we keep a pretty... Oh, wait. We want to introduce ourselves. That was a rhetorical question, wasn't it?
Oh, gosh. No, I just completely
It was
forgot.
real. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I thought it was rhetorical.
No, but I forgot. Yeah. Okay.
We need more coffee.
Yeah. Welcome to Beauty and the Gi, the podcast about jiu-jitsu, coffee this morning, and so much more. Oh, I'm Jen Eads. I am. I'm going to own that. I'm Jen Eads, a blue stripe full of curiosity and questions and not enough sleep, apparently. All the things about jiu-jitsu.
You also said a blue stripe, which was funny.
I'm a blue stripe.
I'm a blue stripe.
That's not a full blue belt.
Yes. Yeah.
Should I just try that again?
No, I think we just roll with it.
Okay.
This is who we are today, guys.
That's who we are.
Have fun with it. I'm AJ Klingerman, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, obsessed with Jiu-Jitsu, also needing more and more coffee this morning.
Okay, it happens. You're laying in bed, you're scrolling. This new awesome looking camp comes up. Maybe it's in some fabulous location, you know, like Costa Rica or someplace like that. Or just some seminar. You're like, oh, that would be amazing. And then, you know, time, money, family, work, something is keeping you from going. How do you deal with that FOMO?
It can be really hard. We keep, like very busy lives just between the gym and tournaments and seminars and stuff with that and running the camps and, there's a lot. And so sometimes it's like we have this weekend booked for something and another camp or seminar or something comes up and it's like, well, but we also want to do that.
Yeah.
And sometimes we do try to juggle it, like there have been times where we've gone to half of a camp because it was also my sister's baby shower and we couldn't miss that, or our goddaughter's dance recital. So we try to make sure that we are keeping family a high priority while still getting to experience as much of the jiu-jitsu as possible. But yeah, FOMO is real. It can be really hard.
Yeah.
Even just like last night, I had to go to a board of directors meeting for our local city pride. So Risser taught class, and when the board meeting was over, I still showed up to the gym. Like, I had FOMO because I wasn't here while everyone was training, and I am usually here.
Oh, and if you don't know what FOMO is, that's fear of missing out. Because we love acronyms here.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, we do. So how do you prioritize? Because I feel like that's what it is. It's what's important.
Yeah. That's hard. It can be hard. And honestly, like there have been times where we have definitely prioritized a camp or something over family, even though some people would look down on that. Like if Rachel's camp comes up and, Rachel is my coach.
Rachel Casillas.
We haven't talked about her recently.
If you're new to the podcast.
But if one of her camps comes up, we'll rearrange our lives for it.
Yeah.
Like we had a 2-week vacation planned when she announced the last one, and we rearranged everything to get home in time to be able to go to her camp. But I think, part of that is like showing up for the people that show up for you. Mm-hmm. And Rachel really shows up for us time and time again. And sometimes you just have to choose kind of what your priorities are and what is important to you.
Yeah.
And you do have to make some tough decisions sometimes to like rearrange your life for that. And, like sometimes something will be costly or seem costly, and trying to figure out like, okay, how can we make this less expensive? You can take role model camp for an example, like maybe you compare it to other camps and you go, okay, price wise, not bad. It's in a really nice hotel. So it's nice to be able to sleep in an actual bed, not like a mattress thing.
I will say, I do love that hotel.
I do love that hotel. It is really nice to have such a like nice place, nice cozy place.
Yeah.
And, you know, so you're going, okay, well, it's got, I don't know if there's a pull-out couch or not. I've never checked.
Yeah.
There is? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. And a pull-out couch. So can you get some of your women together and split the cost there? And then look at little stuff like, is there breakfast there? Is, you know, can we bring food with us for lunches or dinners? And, you know, sometimes it is about figuring out how to make it happen.
Yeah, that's true.
We, years ago, wanted to attend a friend's wedding in Arizona. And so we sold, like pre-sold Jiu Jitsu privates to be able to pay for our trip.
That's really smart.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what we said to everyone too. It was like, hey, we really want to go to this wedding. We can't afford it. We are very broke, but you know, it's really important to us to be there. So if anybody's interested in a private lesson, you know, if you pay for it now, we'll give you a discount. And
nice.
Yeah. So is there something like that that you can do? Is there something, a service that you can offer or something that you can sell? You know, I've definitely had yard sales as I was younger to pay for various things. So, you know, like you kind of try to think outside the box if that's one of the issues. Also, a lot of camps offer some sort of scholarships. Mm-hmm. So that's something you could look into as well.
Lots of ideas.
Lots of ideas.
You're full of ideas this morning.
Oh, here's the thing is like, I'm going to be honest, I'm not good with FOMO. I hate having FOMO. And so I'm more of the like, how can I make this happen? I'm going to make this happen. Yeah. I don't want to miss out. Shout out to Coach Tasha. She sent us this message, like how to deal with FOMO. And part of her message was talking about like missing class and, you know, like if you're injured or something like that.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it before in previous podcasts, but I genuinely think if you are injured, come to the gym still. Keep it in your habits that these are the nights you show up to the gym, you know, as much as possible. Like if you can't sit on the mat because of your injury, okay, that's, you know, like that's different.
Yeah.
But if you can come and sit on the mat, if your coach will allow it, I would say don't dress out. Not in the beginning. If it's something you really need to heal from, don't even put on a gi, because if you put on a gi,
then you're going to be tempted.
You're going to start doing stuff. Yeah. But still be here. You can still take notes. You can still take video if your coach allows that. You can still see your friends. You know, like you might not be able to physically do things, but you can still participate.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like there are going to be, depending on your injury, nights you can still do some things. You know, like I had foot surgery and was on the mat a week later or something in my boot, just wrapped up, you know. And you know, I wasn't doing takedowns or guard pulls or anything like that, but there was still a lot that I could do in that boot. So like,
are you really the person to talk about FOMO?
I may not be. I'm not good. I told you I'm not good at it. I want to be involved.
And have you heard that the new Mel Robbins book is like, let them.
Yeah.
And I think I'm like, let them.
So honestly though, maybe neither one of us are good to talk about it.
Maybe not.
Because I'm going to make it happen and you're like, I don't have FOMO. That's fine.
Yeah. Like I know I probably should. It would probably be good for me to go to this. Just like this weekend, I didn't go to open mat. And I knew that there was one. And I was like, no.
Yeah. And afterwards, were you sad at all that you missed it?
No.
Yeah.
No.
We live very different lives.
Very different lives.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I was stressed about that open mat.
You were?
Yeah. That's what, like, I want people to recognize that sometimes even as a black belt, going to a gym, I went there once years and years ago. You know, you're just like, I don't know if people will like me. I don't know if people will want to roll with me. Like, it's still that way. And so I was nervous about it. Like,
wow.
Yeah. And that's still, if that's your personality, it doesn't go away. But I wanted
to my side.
But I wanted to be there, you know, like
yeah.
I wanted to be a part of the community. I wanted to expand my community.
Yes.
And I did. I made a new friend I made a friend with B. I rolled with her a couple of times. I rolled with several people, but she was one of the ladies I rolled with a couple times. She's competing coming up. I'm going to be there to watch her compete.
Nice.
Like, I know that it was good, and I know I would have been sad had I missed it.
Yeah.
But it was still nerve-wracking.
Yeah. I wasn't sad. I had more of a feeling of guilt. And then it passed.
I get that.
Oh, God, we're so different.
We're so different. I don't think either of us are good at talking on this subject, Tasha. I'm so sorry. I'm like, you don't have to have FOMO. You can make it happen. There's no fear. Let's do this. And you're like, meh.
It's the balance.
It is the balance.
It's the odd couple.
We really need a third person here that's like, I have FOMO. And I just deal with the FOMO. I don't know how to.
Yeah. We're doing the best we can at 7 a.m. on a Tuesday morning.
Yeah. I don't know how to answer this better for her or for her students. I think, if you don't want to miss out, you don't have to.
Yeah.
To me, that's what it boils down to.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
If you don't want to miss out, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You can still be involved in whatever the thing is in some way. Now, obviously, scheduling conflicts, stuff like that.
Right.
That's different.
Yeah.
But.
Well, and I think, too, one of the reasons why I didn't feel as guilty for as long is because I was doing something else that brings me joy.
Yeah.
So I was doing like work, nerdy things.
Yeah.
That make me so happy.
Yeah.
So I think it goes back to what you said initially about prioritizing things. And that's, I think, the key to life right there. There, we've come up with it.
That's the key to life.
It's
this
the
is
key to life.
Heavy
prioritization and balance.
Yes. Well, and I think another difference is like you really like jiu-jitsu.
I do.
I am obsessed with jiu-jitsu.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
and I don't even really like it every day.
Exactly. And there are days when I like it less or when I think I suck at it and I'm like,
but that obsession is always there.
Yeah, I'm still obsessed with it. I know that I couldn't quit because I'm like, what would I do with my life?
Yeah.
Like this is such a huge part of what I do with my time, who my friends are. My identity is wrapped up in a lot of jiu-jitsu. And I know that maybe that's not healthy, but it is who I am. Like it's a big part of me.
Yeah.
So I would maybe learn eventually how to be somebody else, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
So
there's no reason to.
Yeah. And that makes sense of how we set our priorities. The work stuff at the time was more important to you. And, getting out there and meeting new community was more important for me.
So I'm also hearing, don't judge people.
Yeah.
Because they're wired differently.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
if they want to go, let them.
Speaking of don't judging people, right? Like I think some of it isn't FOMO. Some of it is guilt and expectation.
Yeah.
Right? So, for example, we have a guy in our 6 a.m. class, and I reached out to him today. We haven't seen him recently. And I reached out and I was like, hey, I was hoping to see you today. And he's like, I'm so sorry. And he starts apologizing. And instantly I'm like, you never have to apologize to me for not being in class. That's not what this is. I just want you to know I miss you. So as a coach, as a training partner, as a friend, don't put that guilt and expectation on people because it brings a FOMO in a way that is not just like a joyful fear of missing out. It is a depressive, guilt-ridden form of missing out. Yeah. And they don't need that. They have a life. They have their own priorities. They might be struggling with different things. Don't add that to their plate. Just let them know that you miss them, that you would have loved to have seen them or would love to see them sometime in the future, but not that like, don't shame them for not being there.
Right. I think also this can show up as pressure on ourselves to go like, oh, I better go or everybody's going to get better than me. I think especially with when you try to come back too fast from an injury and you don't take the time to recover, it's like, well, now they're all going to get promoted faster than me.
Yep. And that's okay, right? Like, it is okay. It's okay if somebody progresses faster than you. You might later progress faster than them. I could not imagine if everybody progressed at the exact same rate.
That would be weird.
That'd be wild. But, you know, like I like to say, we all end up black belts, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you just keep at it, it doesn't matter that your training partner got a stripe faster than you or got their belt faster than you. Stay the course. We all end up there. And everybody has had that feeling of feeling like they're falling behind. You know, like even me, right? Like I didn't get to really train much last year. I was on the mat all the time because I was teaching. And there were days when I would watch everyone roll and I'd be like, guys, I'm in trouble when I get back. You guys are getting so freaking good and I am getting out of shape. And so it has been hard to come back. It's hard to know what I used to be able to do and not fully be able to do those things yet, both in jiu-jitsu and lifting and going up the stairs. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it is hard. There is some ego attached to that, but I just know I stay the course and it comes back. You get your jiu-jitsu back. You progress as you're supposed to in time. The mats will always be here. It's okay.
It is hard though.
It is hard.
Yeah. When I was out for my shoulder surgery, I was like, oh, I'm going to get so left behind.
Yeah. But do you even like feel like that now? Like you've been back so long. Do you feel like...
I'm just like, eh.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, whatever. I do jiu-jitsu.
I show up when I can.
Yeah. I'm working to improve.
Yeah. It's just, I think it goes back to the priorities, and it's different because this is not my life and it does not define me. Like, it's not a big piece of my, and I will say, I don't think it defines you. I think it's a big piece of your identity, but I don't think it completely defines you.
Yeah.
But I don't have that. Now, if it was playing guitar or something, that might be a little different.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the biggest parts of my identity is like a teacher and a mentor. I guess that's the best way to put it. And my vehicle for those things is jiu-jitsu.
That makes sense.
So I think there could be other ways that I would be doing that, but the biggest part of my identity lies in those, or, you know, like as far as like a what I do for a living kind of thing, you know, like lies in that. And so jiu-jitsu is my vehicle for that. But jiu-jitsu is also my outlet, you know, like it is what relieves stress for me. And, you know, it's just fun. And yeah.
Sometimes it is fun, even for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope that covers it as far as like either be okay with it, figure it out. Don't put pressure on other people. Don't give them FOMO.
If you're having FOMO, you just DM me. I'm at Brassy Broad Jen on Instagram, and maybe we'll still be there on TikTok. I don't know. Maybe.
Or DM me, and I'll help you figure it out. Like, let's make a plan. Let's see how we can do this.
What we're saying is you've got options.
Yeah. I'm AJ Klingerman everywhere you go.
We have a new segment.
Yes.
I'm so excited about this. I love it when we get to shout out the listeners. So we have our second shout out of the episode, and this is for CJ.
Yeah, CJ asked us to go over like a different kind of federation rule every podcast. And so her first question was in regards to advantages. So a good way to look at it is advantages are for almosts, right? If I take you down, but you pop back up, you're going to get an advantage, or I'm going to get an advantage. If I pass your guard, but within those 3 seconds, you put me back in your guard, I'm going to get an advantage. So it's for almost scoring. If they basically start the count, you get 3 seconds before you are awarded points. So if they start the count, you get an advantage. You also get an advantage for submission attempts that are threatening. So in theory, that means if I just, you know, grabbed your arm, but you weren't really in risk of getting arm barred, I'm not getting an advantage.
I hope you're watching video of this.
But if you really have to work to get out of it, or if I'm choking you and you're really turning colors and you manage to escape, I'm going to get an advantage for that. So I think that's like the main way of getting advantages. That might also mean like I start to take you down, but we go out of bounds. You might get an advantage for that. Yeah, I think that kind of...
Okay.
There was a rule that if I was passing and I went to half guard and smashed you down, like if I got both your shoulders on the mat, I'd get an advantage. I don't think that's a rule anymore, but I think ref discretion kind of thing, right? So we can tell you all the rules, but refs are still humans.
Yeah.
And the rules are very nuanced sometimes, especially like advantages and stuff. So sometimes that gets messed up. What I will say is 1,000,000 advantages do not equal a point. So the only time advantages come into play is if we're tied at the end of the match.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I am so excited about this segment because I never even looked at the rules until I went to Rachel's competition camp and she assigned us homework of looking at the rules, or there's some really good videos, I think on the IBJJF website or on YouTube that explain. I was like, oh, I didn't even know that this wonderful magical resource was here.
Yeah. I had to take the referee course when I got my black belt, and I did learn some things, things that I didn't know, or some things that I had been taught wrong all along, that like I was told this was points and it wasn't, or I don't remember what that is now, but I was taking lots of notes because I was like, this is not how I knew this to be. So it's really good. Whether you're a black belt or a white belt, anything in between, like I highly recommend you dive into the Federation rules. Most tournaments are based off of those rules with, some variances.
Well, and just knowing them, like if it's a big tournament and your coach can't be there, it's really helpful if you know the rules.
Yep. You just have to make sure you know what rules are for you at what level, no matter what your level is.
I can't wait to hear what our friends think of the new segment. So DM us at Beauty and the Gi Podcast on Instagram and let us know what rules questions you have. That would be really helpful. So then we'll have some direction on, priorities. What's a priority for our listeners and where to start.
And if you don't know and I don't know, I have lots of friends that ref for the Federation that I can contact and be like, okay, I have a rules question. Tell me what the answer is. So happy to help.
I love it.
Yeah. Speaking of comp rules, we do have our competition camp coming up.
Yay.
That is here at our academy, January 31st through February 2nd. You can register for that at rolemodelswanted.com. It is not a murder, death, kill camp. So it is not come in and just like try to murder everyone. That's not the point. The point is going to be really heavy drilling, really working on your escapes, working on your game plan, working on your mindset.
Was that directed at me? I maybe feel a little.
So many people.
I feel maybe a little personally called out.
But it's going to be a really, really great camp. I'm very proud of the stuff we put together so far for it. It's going to shape up to be amazing. And we've got people coming from New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Ohio, of course, Indiana, like all around. So if you're interested in coming, it is not too late. And then, of course, our women's only role model indie base camp coming up in July 11th through the 13th. You don't want to miss that.
Are you trying to give them FOMO?
Yes. I will help you figure it out. You do not want to miss camp. This is our 10-year anniversary, so we're celebrating our birthday.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I love to celebrate.
Oh, yeah.
And it's our 12th camp, and it's going to be fire.
All right. I'll be there.
Excellent.
Now, I would have FOMO if I missed that.
You would. That's one that you'd be like, yep, I would have FOMO about that.
Yeah, I would be very sad.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, friends, and we will see you on the mat. Beauty and the Gi is a production of the Brassy Broadcasting Company.
And brought to you by Role Model Grappling.